Good day, everyone. It's time for the tropical update with J7409 now. Of course, today is Thursday, the 27th of September, 2018. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the bell, get all the information on tropical weather and weather news in general. I would appreciate it a whole lot, and I'll do my best to get this weather out to you. Now, overnight, there's been a lot of talk about Rosa, okay? Well, I saw Rosa 4 days ago, making up. Yes, Rosa will turn into a hurricane, probably a major hurricane. But my buddy Ralph asked me the other day, what is this going on up in Arizona? Well, it's what's left of Rosa, okay? This is the European model. I'm going to show you the GFS model also. This is Rosa right down in here. It's set for 2 p.m. this afternoon. We will move it on up to around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can see it starts to move to the west just a tad. It will come back and change though, and it is intensifying now. Now we'll move up to Saturday. A little later in the evening Saturday, you can see it. This is set on the wind gauge, okay? And this is Sunday. Now it's starting to move this way. It will continue to move up this way, okay? But there's no need for everybody to get scared to death yet. It's going to change, okay? Now you got a real good look at it Monday around 7 a.m. We'll go to Tuesday at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's getting closer. And now it's beginning to fall apart when we get to Tuesday afternoon around 1 p.m., somewhere in that time frame. This is the wind. Yes, it still has some wind. We'll check out the rain right quick for you. And once again, this is the European model, okay? But you can see there's only one little side of it that has rain now, okay? Of course, this is from some feeder bands, more than likely, that's coming off of it. But we'll go back to the wind because that's easier to see, okay? Now let's move up to around 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 2nd. It's beginning to get to the Baja California Peninsula. We'll go to 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, and look, it's clean apart, people. Let's back it up a little bit here. Now you can, this is at 3 a.m. Wednesday morning. This is the wind, sustained wind. You might have tropical storm force winds at this point. 32, now you got to be, and that's looking like the highest. You've got to have 39. We'll try this one more time. 31, it goes down. Does it have any wind gust at this time? Probably so. We'll see. Yes, you can see right in here. It does have some wind gusts as it is approaching Arizona. Let's see what they are. 43. Okay, so we could categorize this maybe. It's really not a tropical storm at this point, but we're going to say it is. It could stay. You know how these things changes. I am a perfect example with Florence of how things can change with these storms in a matter of a few hours. So let's go back now. We'll leave it on the gust of winds. We'll get up to around 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. It's staying about the same in here, with the gust looking like, what are they looking like? That's 51, a 51 wind gust, but that's up on this side where most of the rain will be. When it comes to sustained winds, where you got that gust, it's 9 miles per hour out of the south, okay? That's for your regular wind strength. And we will move on along to around 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. Poof, it's tore clean apart. It should be way down in strength and all of this now in just a low system. So let's go check out the GFS. I'm one, I don't believe in scaring people to death unless you need to be. Having fear is not a good thing, not in my opinion. I'm not saying you shouldn't be ready for this because you guys over in the Arizona area and all up in here. You're not used to rain and wind at all like this for the most part, but it's not going to be like a big bad hurricane. Or that's what it's looking like now. I'm still saying it's going to dissipate anymore, but it could strengthen some. So this is what it's looking like. And we'll click on up here now. You can see the map and the timing at the beginning. This map courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. We're going to move it on up. Okay, here it comes. Look down at the bottom. You'll see it now. It is a major hurricane at this point. You can see how tightly compacted the isobars are around it. It starts to shrink a little in size as it approaches the Baja California Peninsula. You can see these bars are beginning to spread apart, and the size of the storm is beginning to get smaller. Now, once again, this is just feeder bands from the storm, from this rain. That's all that is. Now, what's going to happen? I think Rosa, like I've showed you, she's going to strengthen in the next 12 to 24 hours. Beyond 3 days, Rosa should be in much cooler waters. That's the key. And by the time it reaches the northern Baja California Peninsula, it should have weakened to a tropical storm at this point. You can't just go by, excuse me, one model, folks. You have to go by many. I see a lot of people just go by the GFS. You can't do that. But even on the GFS, you see how the isobars are spreading apart, and it's beginning to weaken. Now it's up there, and then boom. So the European model and the GFS, once it gets up to Arizona, agree it could have these tropical storm winds. So do be aware of that if you're not used to it. But for the most part, the wind's not going to be the big problem. You're going to get some rain. Now we'll move it up another notch here. And then look, it's completely dissipated by the time it reaches the northwestern corner of New Mexico as it moves on out. Now, as you can see, this is from the National Hurricane Center, and this is the forecast position along with the maximum winds. And by the time, hopefully, that it reaches Arizona, and what it's looking like now, in the next 5 days, it should be 50-mile-per-hour wind. And it may be even lower than that, or it might be a little higher. We'll keep our eyes on it. But for the most part, everybody just get ready for some rain, some wind, and maybe some gust of winds that you're not used to. It should not be a hurricane, but it could be. I'll keep my eyes on it for you. Don't be afraid. Be aware and be prepared. Now let's check out the systems on the National Hurricane Center map from Miami, Florida this morning. Kirk. We're going to talk about Kirk for all my friends on the islands. Kirk's winds died down 10 miles per hour overnight. Last evening it was 60 miles per hour. Now the winds are 50 miles per hour. So that's good news for you guys. Minimum central pressure 1002 millibars, located 13.5 north, 58.3 west. Kirk is moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Now for the remnants of Tropical Storm Leslie, this post-tropical cyclone Leslie, I should say, this morning is located over the central Atlantic Ocean. Now it's several hundred miles west-southwest of the Azores, and it remains a powerful non-tropical low with hurricane force winds. Wow, I told you all along, people, this is the one to watch, and it's looking like my outline red of a football again. How many times have I said we're going to have to watch that football? Well, we are, okay? Now, the associated shower activity is gradually becoming more organized, and Leslie is expected to again become a subtropical storm or possibly a tropical storm later today or tomorrow, while it moves west-southwestward at about 10 miles per hour over the north-central Atlantic. Now, in 2 days, 90% chance, 5 days, 90% chance Leslie will make up into something. I guarantee it. What it will be, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to go around in a circle. It's going to go this way. It's going to come back up over this way. Then it's going to go this way. Then it's going to go that way. It's something we have to keep our eyes on. So please, please do. Now, when we look at the tracking map for Kirk, here we go. You guys on the islands, this is tropical storm warnings. Everything in blue that you see, tropical storm warnings. And it looks to be that the tropical storm watch area has moved a little further south. We're going to go to a map where we can see better and check out the names of these places much easier for everyone. Okay, this is looking like now it's going to be coming in today. Okay, right in this area here. Once it gets past you, earlier it had already disintegrated some, but now it hasn't. It's going to remain a tropical storm until Saturday morning. With this map, it's showing it should be south of Puerto Rico and south of the Dominican Republic for the most part as it continues to dissipate. That's not saying that Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic will not get rain. You probably will get some rain if it's nothing but the feeder bands from Kirk. Now, Kirk has not changed a whole lot overnight, just that drop in winds of 10 miles per hour. Although the storm is producing a large area of deep convection, the cloud pattern is not very well organized, with the center located near the southwestern edge of the thunderstorm activity. Now, the cloud pattern is due to about 20 knot of southwesterly shear coming up. And the Air Force Hurricane Hunters passed through the northeastern quadrant of Kirk a few hours ago and found winds to support the same intensity. In addition, quality control of a ship report that came in around the same time also supports that intensity. Another Air Force plane is scheduled to investigate Kirk later this morning. Now, a large stretch of the strong upper-level westerly or southwesterly winds are over the entire Caribbean Sea, and Kirk will be moving into these conditions during the next few days, and they're very hostile. This is going to make Kirk steadily weaken. Now, the GFS and the European model suggest that dissipation could occur even sooner than they forecast on that map. That's what I was thinking, just like I told you a while ago. And the intensity models are in good agreement, and the National Hurricane Forecast is the same as the previous one. Okay? Now, center fixes from the Air Force reconnaissance aircraft indicate Kirk's moving west-northwestward at 14 knots, a continued west-northwest motion, but at a slower pace. That's not good when it slows up. Is expected during the next few days as Kirk moves to the south side of a low to mid-level ridge. That's why it's going to remain a tropical storm. It's slowing up. Okay, the latest models have not changed much, and the National Hurricane Center track forecast lies near the middle of the guidance envelope. Okay, this track is taking Kirk across the Lesser Antilles later today as a tropical storm. And here's the winds that you can expect: 50-mile-per-hour winds, then down to 45, 40, 35, and then it's a post-tropical remnant low at 30, and then poof, in 96 hours it has dissipated. This map shows a better idea to me of what's going on with Kirk with the tracking, okay? And as you can see, if you remember last evening, it looked like it was going right straight over Fort-de-France. Now it looks like it's jogged just a little to the south of Fort-de-France. Wherever you see this blue, from the northern sections of Guadeloupe, not quite to St. John's, not quite up there, but we'll say Guadeloupe all the way down here to around the area of Kingston, you're under a tropical storm warning. And for everybody down in Barbados, you're going to get some wind and rain from this too. Okay, when we get to Kingston, right down almost to St. George, but not quite, That's a tropical storm watch. So far as Trinidad and Tobago go, well, Tobago go, you're still not in anything, my friends. Trinidad and Tobago still has no watches for Tropical Storm Kirk. As it moves on along, you can see it will start to be a depression, disintegrate down from the tropical storm. The cone does not go to Puerto Rico. You're not in this cone, just a very small smidgen of the Dominican Republic is in this. But if you're in Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and even my friends in Haiti, you could receive some rain from feeder bands off of this as it dissipates. Not saying you're going to 100%, but there is a good chance you could receive some rain from it. But nothing like, my friends, right in this area. You guys will get the brunt of everything that Kirk has to offer. And we're going to end it up with the watches and warnings. The watches and warnings for tropical storm warnings. They are in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica, Martinique, and Guadeloupe. Tropical storm watches in effect for St. Vincent and Grenadines. Now, interests elsewhere in the eastern central part and northern Lesser Antilles should monitor the progress of Kirk. That's in the central and northern Lesser Antilles. You be abreast of what's going on, okay? Now, the maximum sustained winds remain at around 50 miles per hour with higher gusts. Gradual weakening is anticipated during the next couple of days, but Kirk is forecast to move across the Lesser Antilles and into the eastern Caribbean Sea as a tropical storm. Another Air Force reconnaissance aircraft is scheduled to investigate Kirk later this morning. Now, this has changed some. The tropical storm force winds now extend further out. They're up to, 140 miles, mostly north and east of the center, and the pressure is 29.59 inches. When it comes to the hazards, this is what you really need to pay attention to. For the wind, tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the warning area this afternoon. If you've got anything left you want to do in ways of preparation and preparing, do it before lunch. Tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area by this afternoon. Now, rain, rain, rain. Kirk is expected to produce total rainfall of 4 to 6 inches across the northern Windward and southern Leeward Islands, with associated maximum totals of up to 10 inches across Martinique and Dominica. Those places you're going to get probably 10 inches of rain. Now, these rains may produce life-threatening flash floods and mudslides. Now, across eastern Puerto Rico, Kirk is expected to bring 2 to 4 inches. See, I just told you were probably going to get some rain. This is for eastern Puerto Rico. Kirk is expected to bring 2 to 4 inches with isolated maximum totals of 6 inches by tomorrow, Friday, right on into Saturday. So with that all said and done, everybody have a good day, a great day, a blessed day. Thank you for the comments, the donations, the likes, and sharing this information is so very important to get word out to your family and friends about everything going on with tropical weather. Folks, make sure you have a pocket flashlight, if you have one possible, in your pocket at all times. You know the current's probably going to go off in some of these areas, and if you just keep one of these little flashlights in your pocket, take it from me. I just went through all of this stuff. It comes in so handy. You don't have to look for any type of light. You've got it on you 24/7 until you get your current back. I love you guys so much. Everybody, please stay safe down on the islands, and much peace, love, and kindness to each of you. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.